everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Talkoffame podcast. I'm Kylie, the host, and today we're interviewing Sarah Essy. Sarah is a vocal coach, a vocal producer, and songwriter. She has a bachelor's degree in vocal techniques that allows her to pass her knowledge of singing and to inspire and motivate people. She started singing when she was a kid, so she was in kids choir at 6 years old, and she just kept going till she became a solo artist in 2019. Thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so good. Wow, you did really good research about myself. Thank you. Well done.
Hey, gotta be prepared for this. Gotta be prepared.
I feel quite
But but tell us a little bit more about you and your work and how you got started.
So you got it right. I was a solo artist from 2019. Then COVID hit, as everyone knows, and I started to kind of, discover other parts of myself and understand maybe I wanted to do something a bit different, exploring new direction in music. So I started to produce more and write more. So at the end, I became a producer and songwriter full time. I no longer release music, but I'm quite happy about it. And because it was causing me a lot of stress and a lot of not really good emotions, I just really wanted to be part of music, but not in the same way that an artist is most of the time. So yeah, and I live in Amsterdam currently, and I'm from Italy. I'm 26 years old, and that's about it.
I'm like, once you told me you were from Italy, I'm just like, okay, invite me because I always wanted to be from Italy, like go to Italy at one point. I never been, but Italy has always been one of the places that I always wanted to go to. Whenever it says someone's from Italy or something, I'm like, marry me, please. Like, take me anywhere.
Italy is a beautiful country. I mean, I'm close to Milano, so that's usually where people are like, oh my God, Milano. Honestly, Italy is for sure one of the most beautiful countries in the world, I would say. And the food is great, and everything is such a paradise.
Yeah, it
I
truly is.
I didn't find a place for myself. Like I really couldn't make a business work there because I wanted to work in English with people internationally, and it was a bit tougher in Italy. That's all, but it's really beautiful, and for any situations, weddings, holidays, anything that is a happy occasion, Italy is the best place to be.
Oh, for sure. If I had to choose a different country to get married, Italy's a place. No doubt in my mind. Oh,
Do
but
it.
do you have like a favorite musical memory from growing up singing?
I love this question. So when I was maybe around 7, 8, or maybe 7 actually, I was in primary school, and my primary school organized musicals at the end of the year, and that's where I actually discovered. I mean, I was already singing in a choir when I was 6. I started pretty early, but then it's when I actually discovered that I could be a solo singer, because they put me in a solo of what was it called in English, of Aladdin, one of the song in
Mhm.
Aladdin. I think, yeah, A Whole New World. That's what's called in English. Sorry, I know it mostly in Italian, but I don't know it in in English. I've never watched it. And they put me in a solo, so I was doing my song by myself, and I think that was the moment that I realized I really could do this. And there were maybe 300, 400 people in the audience. I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah, because it was like it's a local theater, but my city is I mean, is a province in Italy, so it's quite big. And yeah, it was packed. And I remember, I mean, it was just like a weird feeling, you're a little kid on the stage, and it's just so many people there. And
Mhm.
I'll always remember, because it works like that. You go on a stage and you don't see anything. I was like, it was all black. Like, I mean, I could see a little bit of faces, but it was just like a little smiles and all that. You could see the teeth of people maybe, but it was completely black, and you're just like, oh my God. But
What's
actually the theater was packed. And then, yeah, I just remember I sang, and then it went beautifully, and then I said, okay, I really want to do this. I want to make this work. And that's basically it. And then actually I did the solo also in the years afterwards. So it was, yeah, it was great success.
Like, if I were to sing in front of, like, 600 people at, like, 7 or 8 years old, I would've passed out and said immediately no. Like, I
Like,
would've died and passed out right on stage.
I have no idea. Look, it was a primary school musical. I thought it was just the parents. But actually what happened is that the schools invite other schools. So it was a lot of people from different schools in my city that saw me. Of course, they don't remember me because I was, 6 years old, 7. So, but it was so many people that actually I think I met even afterwards because my city is big, but it's one of the cities that everyone at the end of the day. So it's like it's crazy. So I didn't know. I had no idea. If I knew, I don't think it wouldn't be so perfect.
Oh
And I
my god,
remember
if
I
I would be like, I would much rather perform and go out and see 600 people than knowing beforehand and just freaking out and
know he had like and all that, and I was wearing this I was wearing this dress. It was like pink with little flowers, and like everyone made fun of me of the dress actually. But in that moment, I slayed, and I felt like a superstar. And I was like, "Let's do this."
Also make fun of me. At least I felt great. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But, like, how do you, like, capture ideas for songs when they come to you? Like, how do you kinda get ideas for songs?
Okay, so by myself, I try to write 2 songs, 3 songs per day, not without a melody, just words, because I'm struggling personally. I struggle a little bit with words because I'm not native speaker. So I have few techniques, but my favorite one, that's what I'm gonna tell. My favorite one is that I'm looking at a room and I'm taking 3 objects in the room and I write them down. For example, I don't know, like today, I can take today as an example. I was sitting, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a bottle. And so I wrote down bottle. I wrote down temperature and I wrote down chili. I don't know. It was just like random things in the room. I was just walking and I was like, oh, okay. And then it helps so much your brain to create new scenarios because you have to use those words to create the song. That doesn't mean that you have to, surround the songs around them, but it's just like you need to put them. That's the goal. And it
Mhm.
really works because you really have to think about it. And it just unlocks, in my opinion, just unlocks some parts of my brain that I don't think I would in a normal session with people. And with people, um it's a bit different because if I produce and the artist writes, usually I let the artists just do what they want to do and maybe give them some feedbacks along the way. I find it quite hard at this stage in my career to do both at the same time. I want to give feedbacks because I know what we're doing, but I don't want to interfere too much on what the message of the song is. But if I'm the writer and co-writing with other people, then I'm just going with the vibe, to be honest. Like I'm just also seeing what the other people wants to do and like what's going on. And there's no really a way to start. You
Mhm.
just kind of have to feel the room, in my opinion. By yourself, it's much easier to start because you just do whatever you want. But if
Yeah.
you're with other people, yeah, you have to kind of read the room, understand what they want to do, what the direction they want to do, and jump in if it's necessary. Because sometimes something works and you don't have to go and interfere, You have
Mhm.
to take your position and you really have to know when it's right to go, no, maybe we should write this instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a bit tougher, but I love it. It's so special, really
Mhm.
special.
Yeah, like, I feel like working by yourself is probably the easiest way to get like songwriting in terms of fastness. Is of course if
Yeah,
you collaborate, you don't know what the other person likes to do for inspiration, or if you don't know what the process is like, and like with yourself, you know what your process is, and so it's
exactly.
much quicker to get inspiration or to write if you're by yourself.
Exactly. Well, I think it's both ways apart from the inspirations because at the end, when you're in a room with someone, you can learn so much from them. And when you're by yourself, you have to force yourself to learn stuff.
Yeah, that.
So in terms of like actually collaborating, it's much harder, of course, because I mean, you're with more people. When you're by yourself, you can just do what you want. But then when you want inspiration, when you want to do something different, when you're with someone else, it's just a little bit easier.
100%. And what is kind of like the most challenging part for you about songwriting?
Girl. Well,
I know there's so many ways.
there's so many. Well, I think to me to is to convey a message that isn't being used already.
Mm,
Because man, there's so many songs on Spotify and everywhere, and you want to be original. Like you want to write something that no one has written before, but actually
yeah.
you're never gonna do that. It's, I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's quite hard to do that.
100%.
But to me, I think it's like actually just finding something, yeah, something not, I wouldn't say original, but it's just something that it really resonates with the artist and it really resonates with something that has never said before. And yeah, I think that's the most difficult part of songwriting. And also, another thing can be a bit writer's block, which I think
Ooh,
everyone, even not songwriters, even writers, even, you know, painters, it's not writer's block probably, but it's that artist block that you don't know what's going on. And that's the thing when you have to go, like, you have to grind on them. You just have to go with it. You can't stop. In my opinion, when you stop, really, you lose it more than when you try. You don't have to push yourself so hard, but you still have to do something about it, because otherwise you get, in my perspective at least, you're gonna kind of dig deeper and you just try and you're like completely blocked for longer. If you kind of try in smaller parts, again, don't push yourself so hard,
mm,
then you will unblock it. That means, for example, when I write writer's block, if I write maybe 3 songs, which again, it's just lyrics, but if I write 3 songs a day, maybe whenever I just thought I write one or half one, like not even one song completely, but at least something that will give you, okay, I can do this, a bit of motivation. You know what I mean? So I
mm.
think those are really the hardest things and the most difficult parts in songwriting. Yeah.
Yeah, like I totally agree because of course with writer block, it can be a good and bad thing. Of course, you can write different songs, but also it helps you connect with other people while doing so. But also with coming to inspiration, it's very hard to not make sure that the song or name is not similar to this person's song or that person's song. It's very difficult because the song might be similar, it might be copyrighted. Or even
Yeah.
like the tone the song takes and everything, these things that's outside the
Yeah.
lyrics, like that can be even copyright as well. So it's like it's like that's the probably also hardest part about being music as well as trying to figure out like, okay, like is this thing a person similar to someone else's that has the same name and
Yeah.
songs? I know with a lot of people, a lot of songs have the same name but different artists.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, we have a lot of options with, chords and melodies and all that, but so many has been done already. Like so much has been done, and you can, yeah, you have to dig deeper in yourself or with the artist to find something that it's really not being used. But most of the time, a chord progression is probably already used. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yeah.
And that's also writing. I mean, in a different way, but it's still composition. So it's, yeah, you have the risk to fall into something that is already being made. So
Hmm.
then you have it interesting. That's why I started producing as well, because you have to make it interesting in a different way. You have to try new things with maybe the sound design of it, and yeah, just the genres and all that, because chord progressions, I mean, there's so many possibilities, but come on, it's been so many years that people are doing music, and it's, yeah, I mean, a lot of them are being used already. And
Yeah, especially in 2024, it's getting better, but also getting worse at the same time.
uh, true.
It
I mean, yeah.
depends on the person, an artist who wants to actually do that.
Well, I mean, a part of course, it's also the social media world. It's making everything a little bit more superficial, in my opinion. Like, I think it's great to use. So I use social media to promote what I do. But there's so many songs that you get 20 seconds of it, and that's it. And then maybe the song has been released that you don't even like it. You just like that 20 seconds because it's
Yeah.
like dope to your brain. So yeah, I mean, as you said, 2024, but honestly, onwards, like even next year and probably in 10 years, until we have this kind of warped world around us that is just like 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, music is gonna be different.
Yeah.
Music is definitely getting a different direction for what it was before.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Because I know like a lot of people did use those 20 seconds to put out the good lyrics in that song. Then when people listen to that song when it's released,
Of
the whole song's at the
course.
best. It's horrible. And
And
it's the only good part is the 20 seconds.
and I do the same. Huh? I mean, that's the way to promote your music. But then, yeah, I mean, that's the risk that you take.
Yeah.
Once it's out, you don't know if actually it's gonna be liked 100%.
Yeah,
So yeah,
until it's
sure.
released and you never know. You just know that
Mhm.
part was kind of like a little preview, people call it. You just know that
For
preview.
sure.
You don't know the actual full song to it's released to say a week later, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, exactly.
But to wrap this episode off, I have some little fun questions for you to end this episode off.
Let's go.
Do you prefer writing or singing?
Oh, okay. Uh, it's very hard. I
Yeah, I
at
totally
the
get
moment at the moment now Sarah, now Essy is preferring writing, but on the core, I'm a singer. I mean, I started with singing, so I would say writing. Okay, let's start with writing.
That's a good one. I know it's like your two favorite things. Like, how are you supposed to choose between two things you love? Like, it's like your babies a little bit.
It is. It is.
But like, what is your favorite movie or show at the moment?
Movie or show?
Mhm.
I'm a big sucker of comedy. Big.
Oh,
Like honestly, I rewatch stuff. It's quite scary, but I do. I rewatch stuff a lot.
me
The
too.
Office.
I'm literally queen of rewatching everything. I love
Girl.
rewatching. I do more rewatching than actually starting something new.
No, me too. Same. It's crazy. I would say my favorite forever is gonna be The Office. The Office is my.
Oh,
The Office is my like I don't know. I wouldn't know how to explain it, but I love it so much. It's just so silly and just so funny, and there's everything. There's a bit of emotions, and I love every comedy, like Modern Family and New Girl is also a big one. I would say The Office, New Girl, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
that's a good one. Do you want a little fun fact about
Okay, yeah,
this? Do you know how it's based in Scranton, Pennsylvania?
yeah. I was about to say actually, yes.
I actually live in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh my god.
I'm that serious. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm being so
I
serious.
love this, but because they didn't shoot it like it's from Pennsylvania, but they didn't shoot it
I
in
didn't shoot it, but it is basic.
no. Like I heard that the main one of the main actors, I don't remember who, he just went around with a camera, and that's how they made the title song, like with the videos and stuff. It's so
Yeah, like
funny.
once you said The Office, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Because whenever I tell someone from
Okay.
Scranton, Pennsylvania, they're like, oh, The Office. Okay. Like I see you from Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's what
I
Scranton's
didn't even
known
think
for is
about
The
it.
Office.
I didn't think about it. I didn't go there immediately, but actually, yeah, of
Yeah, like, of
course.
course, when someone says The Office, I'm like, Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's what
Yeah,
Scranton, Pennsylvania would be existent without The Office. So thank you for whoever made The Office. Thank
I
you.
mean, yeah. I mean, it's a bit sad, I guess,
Yeah, it's a bit
but
sad that it's known for, but
it's quite true. I mean, yeah, it's not a big city, right?
No, it's not that big.
No. It-
It's it's
do
in
you
the
know
middle.
why?
It's not small, but it's not too big.
Do you know why they choose the city? Like, is that a specific? Like, do you have a search on it? Why they choose it?
I have actually no idea. That's interesting. I should probably look it up.
I think it would.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Please do. No, because I mean, if you think about it, there's so many cities everywhere in America.
Mhm.
Why they choose Scranton? There must be a reason. It wasn't random.
It says Scranton was picked because it was 2 hours from New York, ideal for a regional office of a Manhattan company. And this guy
True.
received a challenge Valentine's card that said "Made in Scranton," in which a lot, I guess he received a lot of greeting cards, Valentine's, and other seasonal products for Scranton, I guess. So I guess that's how they picked Scranton, which is interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does. Of course, one Valentine changed everything. So
Of course.
applause
Love.
to you for
Love.
saying that Valentine.
Love.
Honestly, you for making Scranton famous. But the last question I have for you is if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you travel?
I really, really want to go to three places. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to
Oh,
Canada.
same here. Australia's in my top three.
I know. I'm just scared about the wildlife, but I really want to go. Like
Yeah.
I'm scared of spiders and all that crap. I really am, but I really want to go. And then Canada, because I don't know, I just feel like I would feel nice. I would feel nice there.
Mm.
And then I really, really want to go to Lapland, which is where Santa Claus is from, where you can see like the Northern Lights and all that in
Oh
Finland.
yeah. That's a great choice. Like what part of Australia do you want to go to?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I would just go maybe on a road trip.
Mm, great
I
choice.
think
I
that's
would love to like go into like Sydney or Melbourne. Those are probably the places I would love to go to if I had to go to
well,
Australia.
for sure has to be that. But also, I feel like there's a lot of in Australia where it's not a city that you can see. Like it's just a different. To me, that I'm from Europe, I think it's just a completely different world. It's the same when I went to the US. It's just a completely different world, and it's just very interesting to me to see it. And that's why I also wanted to do a road trip in the US. It's just a little bit harder, but also in Australia it's hard. But it's just like I don't really know where to go in the US as a road trip. I mean, I guess I could do like parks and all that, but yeah, I mean, I think when you go with a car and you go around a country, whatever country it is, you just see a different sides of it, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah,
And
because
also, I really
every
like.
state or country is very different in every way. Like there's so many different things. Of course, some countries are similar, but every country or state is very different.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But that is honestly the perfect way to wrap up this episode.
Uh,
I hope everyone loved listening to the episode. I know this is probably one of my favorite episodes. Probably the funniest one ever, honestly. I
Thank
hope
you so
everyone
much.
enjoyed listening. Make sure to subscribe and review. Make sure to go check out Sarah on her social media and her work. But thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on and joining us today.
Thank you so
And
much
I
for.
know we've been trying to do this, and I'm
Yeah.
glad we've been trying, like, got it done. And I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time.
Time zone, y'all.
I
Hard.
know it's crazy. Different countries stick
Yeah.
together. Time zones. That's why I hate time zones. FYI, I hate time zones. But thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today. I love chatting
Thank
with you.
you. Yes, me too. I really enjoyed it so much. Thank you
Me-
so much for having me. Thank you for contacting me. And yeah, I mean, I hope maybe I can come again to talk about other things
Of course,
if
you're
you want.
always welcome to join. You're always welcome. But I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Well, it's night, so
Well,
I might go
night.
soon. I hope you're gonna have the rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your night. I would say there, but yeah, have a good rest of your night and enjoy next your little nighttime at the studio.
Thank you so much.